Yeah, man, I had to come back because I received a message from one of the brothers in GMS Holland, and it's about this video actually. So, call Allah Shar for bringing that. It was something that I'm going to bring up. So yeah, man, Holland got his big fingers in the country because the country got a whole lot of resources, minerals. You know, I always bring up the first three: gold, you know, uh, wood, and bauxite. But let's go to Suriname on Wikipedia, man, because maybe there's even more that I don't mention a lot. Because also the Amazon jungle got a whole lot of animals and vegetation that's not often mentioned. Okay, it's a whole lot of information, of course, man. Let's see what they got for us. Economy of Suriname, bauxite. That's one of the things. They got the Suriname Nature Reserve. Rice, banana, shrimp that these fuckers eat. Oh yeah, man. One thing I never mentioned, man. They started exposing sizable oil, man. There's oil found in the waters, in the sea, on the coast of Suriname. They got oil, man. Or should I say we got oil? No, man. See timber, palm, coconut, peanut, citrus fruits, forest fruits. Well, that's basically what every tropical country got. But they got ore, other minerals, fish, all kinds of fish. But they're killing the fish, with the situation in the reservoir lake, with the cyanide, whether it was an accident or whether it was on purpose. The effect of it is that these bastards, these criminals, here the president, and his buddy, Brunswick, his vice president, which recently was pronounced king of the Marons. He was pronounced king of the Marons, the Negroes in Suriname. These animals, these thieves, under the guidance of Esau, they refuse to fix it. Alright? That's what they do, man. Destroying the country. Alright? So, that whole situation right there is the mentality of the slave owner, man. The slave driver, This guy wasn't so clean also. He got a whole lot of things. You can read it, One thing I do gotta say, the way they're grabbing right now, stealing, plundering, looting the country in the face of the people, that would never happen under his command. He was all for the Negroes. He was all for the Native Americans. He was partly for the coolies. He was good with the people from Java, the Javana. He was only against Esau, against the so-called white man. After he turned his back towards them, he was down with them. As I said before, he was put in his place by them. Even when this guy was president, man, Chan, he was the president in what time was it, man? 2000 to 2010. Even this guy, right and boss. But again, they are all politicians, so they are all playing their part. But when this guy, he was also fighting on the side of Bouterse, when Bouterse was in war with this guy, Ronnie Brunswick. Ronnie Brunswick is the former bodyguard of Bouterse, and when he was a bank robber. So when he went to Bouterse for a race, he wanted more money, then Bouterse refused. And that led to these two, because he's with the Maroons, the runaway slaves, and he's with the Native Americans, and partly also with the the Stadskriol, the Negroes from the city that stayed behind until they were released by the so-called white man, the Dutch, the Edomites, the Dutch Edomites. Okay. Yeah. So that led to a war, the Surinamese interior war, all right? And they fought. And why I came out on this subject is because the guy, Fini Chan, so when Fini Chan was the president and when Bouterse was president, and even the other one I showed you, Radenbos, when these guys were president, of course they were stealing too. They were taking money also. They were taking, they make sure that friends and family, that nepotism, when that happened, when they was president, it happened also. But it wasn't as crazy as it is right now, man. Now, this guy has always been wanting the president's role. So after he went and asking for the money and they fought the war back in 86, they had their war in 86. Let's check it out for confirmation's sake. Suriname interior war. Yeah, 86. July 22 of 1986 to August 1992. 8 August 1992. 6 years, man. They fought. So in 88, I was there. What did I say, 88? Yeah, 88, I was there. All right? When I was out there again, man? 98. And after that, after 88, I was there again. So I was there during the war. I didn't even notice. But, we were in the city. And mostly it was fought, as you can see on the map, on the east side, on the east coast, on the east border of the country, because the rebels, the Jungle Command, they took their ass to the west, to the east. I gotta say, man. And the east is Guyana. On the east is Guyana. Let's check it out, man. Don't do any stupid stuff, French Guyana. French Guyana is there, man. So they took their not refugees, they took resident in French Guyana. Until this day, they're still there, man. When you go with the bus or the car, you go to French Guyana, by the border, you see all, I don't like the word juka because that means the poop from the stool from an Amalekite. But, the Maroons, the jungle commandos back in the days. So they took their place there, okay? So all these things happened, man. And Holland, the Netherlands had their hands in the pie until that era, appeared. From Bouterse being president, Fini Chan being president, and also Jules Radenbos being president. Now also look at Fini Chan's look, man. He was also a guy that, he went to church, but he also fought in that war, man. But in that period, Holland didn't have much to say, in the country. It appeared that way. They were openly saying in their talkings or whatever, when they were in their meetings or the debatings. Sometimes you see videos, they see the Bouterse talking about Holland can go to hell. Certain things he would say also, always. But again, it's politicians, so this is it's a way to win the people for you, so that you can sit on the money. But then again, it wasn't as worse as now with these two guys, man. Yeah, I have to drink something, man. So yeah, crookedness after crookedness after crookedness, and in the end, it's these bastards, man. The bastard, the bastard that went to the west coast of Africa and took so-called Negroes and put them in chains and stored them in fucking cargo slave ships and brought them to the west coast or the east coast of America, man, the United States. And meanwhile, during the trip, while these bastards were, let me look it up, man. When it was traveling on sea in their sail ships, and one of us got sick or didn't feel well, then they would throw him overboard. All right. The one that killed many of our peoples, man, many of our peoples. So I got here Christopher Columbus and the African Holocaust. All right. I think I already had it, man. First of all, I take a little detour, man. It says because this book is by Christopher Columbus and the African Holocaust. It's by John Henry Clark. Okay. Because I want to go into scriptures, man. Because I ran in, it just came onto me, man. Christopher Columbus, the African Holocaust. Bear with me 1 second, man. Yeah. Slavery and the Rise of European Capitalism by John Henry Clark, which is a J. Now I have the PDF form. I'm going to look it up, man. First of all, about what they did to the Native Americans, man, the so-called Native Americans. Father de la Casas estimates that from 12 to 25 million indigenous Americans were killed on the islands in the Caribbean. 12 to 25 million, okay? But since we're on the topic of Suriname, I was talking about who brought the slaves to the United States, and the fact that they are still controlling Suriname. I hope I find it, man. Otherwise, I'll make another lesson about this. This is a big map. The map is big, man. I remember putting stickers in this stuff. Bear with me. If I can't find it, we'll just leave it at that. I remember marking it. I'm still here. The screen went black for a second. Yeah. Still looking. This book is thick. And I put a sticker or a marking with a marker, and that's the fault because I haven't been in the book a long time. Is this it? There was a man who stole a continent. Being cruel as well as greedy and possessing power, he enslaved 20 million of its people, sending them over the ocean, 10 million to the eastern hemisphere and 10 million to the western hemisphere. In the process of capturing the 20 million people whom he sold, 80 million other people died, some during slave raids, for when a village was raided, often the very young and very old and the sick were killed, some for exposure, disease and grief during shipment abroad, and some by suicide at the water's edge or in transit. That's what I wanted to say, man. He and his children and grandchildren and those to whom they sold slaves received much, much more, many billions more. Though the unpaid labor of whole generations of slaves, but this too was not at all the end of their enrichment. No, it was not. because they got the industrial revolution after that. So they, you know, in Holland they got a saying, geld moet rollen, money got to roll. And I often, you know, when I was a rapper, I often, you know, use that term in certain ways. And you know, when you picture it, you see a coin and it keeps rolling. It's a nice thing to do when you're a child. You know, and Esau said, the Most High said Esau as a child, he set him over us. You know, children, man, they are, you know, children are their oppressors. You know, according to the book of Job. Now, let's go to the book of Job, man. So I want to go into scriptures, you know, because I've been ranting. So let's go into scriptures. Job chapter 3, verse 3. And they have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for the harlot, and sold a girl for wine, that they may that they might drink. You know, they cast lots, man. Like when they put us on the auction block, because that's where I wanted to go. Because they, you know, they took us on the ships, and then they boarded us. You know, the ship boarded, and they took us out. They took us out on them planks. You know, some planks might even break. Some guy might. Some brother, some Israelite might break his foot, you know, gets beaten up for that, and then they put us on the auction blocks, man, to get bought by the highest sellers, and you might see your brother or your sister or your mother or your child, you know, who you've been trying to empower the whole trip, like keep going, man, don't kill yourself, keep going, I don't know where we're going also, man. Don't worry, man. Piss on the floor, man. We gotta do this. We gotta keep going, man. You know, don't worry about that guy over there shitting and defecating himself, man. Don't worry about these white guys coming in and beating us to death every time, man. Some of us to death. You know, keep going. We gotta figure a way out. Keep hope. And on in the auction blocks of Atlanta or whatever fucking city, you get auctioned, man. Sold, separated for the rest of your lives. And that's another thing that Esau got in his hands, man. Because a whole lot of Jakes, you know, are actually family, man. You know? Because of that, nowadays they think they're not family. With all, you know, all things happening after that too, man. So you got blood on your hands, man. Fucking, you know, disgusting scumbags, man. Let's go to Ecclesiastes chapter 10, because, you know, I've been speaking in the first videos about, you know, the things that these leaders of the Suriname do. You know, for example, Ronnie Brunswijk naming himself, you know, being named king of the Maroons, king of the black people, so-called black people in Suriname. There came some kings from Benin and Ghana, their king. It was all shit. They got him a crown. Meanwhile, the people are suffering, man. Huh? They got this coolie and his wife and his entourage just grabbing everything, just, you know, everything they get their dirty hands on, going on crazy trips with, you know, planes, buying all kinds of cars, and they buying everybody out, man. Everybody that needs to be bought out, they're buying them out, you know. And when people ask questions, they always blame it on the former governments, Pauterse, you know, Venetian, Vandenbos. It's them Jakes. You go to them. It's not us. We've been here 3 years already almost. We're still fucking up, but it's not us. In the end, it's them, Esau, the so-called white man. All right? And the things I was talking about, you see in Ecclesiastes chapter 10, verse 5. There is an evil which I have seen under the sun, as an error which proceeded from the ruler. Who is the ruler? Esau is the ruler. Folly is set in great dignity, and the rich sit in low place. Who are the rich? The Jakes, man. The Negroes, Native Americans, and Latinos, man. You know? Nigere, you know, Ingi, you know, nanga Latino in Suriname, you know? I just went in the language, man. All right? So that's what's happening, man. Folly setting great dignity, man. They're doing stupid things. Folly, all kinds of stupidness, man. You know? But, it's this one, man. The book of Sirach, chapter 10, verse 2. Check this. As the judge of Sirach chapter 10, verse 2, as the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers. And what manner of the man, and what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. Alright? So, because Esau had that mentality, the leaders of Suriname still got that mentality. It's been learned to them. They learned it from the master, man, the real nigger, the original nigger. The original nigger showed them how it's done. This is how it should be done. No, I should not be singing, man. It's Shabbat, man. But this is how it should be done, man. They showed them that. All right. And since it's coolies ruling the country right now, and I gave you examples, man, about children being taught in schools, but the classrooms look like the place I was working today, man. Like it was, a broken house, man. Half broken, half, good. It was messed up, man. Looking like the place, like the barn where they keep the cows. Daniel chapter 7 verse 25, man. And he shall speak great words against the heavenly Father. He is Esau, the so-called white man, and shall wear out the saints of the heavenly Father, and think to change time and laws. He's doing that by, for example, winter time, summertime, and they shall be given into his hand until a time and times and the dividing of time. So we, Israelites, we are the saints of the heavenly Father, and we are given into the hands of the wicked. All right. Now, all these things happening in Suriname, they happen for a reason. They happen because the Heavenly Father wants it to happen. All right? And we have brothers in Suriname also, man. And they see the things that's happening, we see the things that's happening. And Jake all around is waking up. But not enough, apparently, because they still, when I watch the news, the radio, the podcasts, whatever, the videos from Suriname, I see them talking about, the conclusion is, they are already dead. Like, we got to put these people out of place. But they're talking about, we wait till 2025 when there's going to be election. So this is how far the system got their neck upon Jake, man. And the system is the so-called white man. Well, in this case, it's the Elamite ruling the system. But the Elamite is controlled by Esau, the so-called white man, 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. So they are still not woken up. And I can sit here and break the whole situation down, man. All right? What's going on? What's been going on? They're all crooks in the end, man. Bouterse, Venichan, Weidenbosch, Henk Aaron, who was the president at the time that Bouterse took over. This old half, I want to say half-breed. He's a Jake, but he got Elam running through him. I don't know. But again, this was the president during the time that Bouterse took over. And I was a little distracted because here you see it clearly. The monarch at that time was Queen Juliana, who was the mother of the current, who was the grandmother of the current peasant king of the Netherlands. Okay? So during all these times, man, these crooks have been ruling, all right? But Esau got his neck upon these people, man. And this is coming soon also to us, man. The situation that Suriname is going in, man, this shit is going to pop off here also, but it's gonna take longer, man. It's gonna take some longer. You know, that the side gonna take, it's gonna come fast. Let's go to Psalms, because I want to close this on. Let's Psalms chapter 12, verse 8. And it reads, the wicked walk on every side when the vilest men are exalted. Alright, so when these guys, these coolies, these Negroes come to your door, you live in Suriname, you got your little, house, with your yacht, and they come, clock, 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 they come knocking on the door, say, yeah, I want you to vote for us, and we're going to give you this. Look, we give you this box with this and that. Oh, you ain't got no internet? I'll fix internet for you. You go on the list from people with internet. Oh, you ain't got no car? We're going to fix you a car. Oh, you got no this? They come like that, man. They buying your votes. All right? They are exalted, man. The one, Brunswijk is coming sometimes, throwing money. I've been talking about his cousin, Bordeaux, money hunt, money hound, Joel something. Man, Bordeaux, Suriname, man. Joel Martinez, keeping the money in his hand, big stacks of money, crazy Negro, He been saying some good things though about these, the situation with the coolies, but his role is to stir up the race war, man, because that's what it's going to end in. It's going to end in a race war, all right? So again, man, the wicked walk on every side when the vilest men are exalted. So these people are exalted by the nation, by the people, by their minions, by the people voting for them. They are voting for them, so they are exalting them. They are exalting them. But the wicked walk on every side. So Satan is right there, man. Like the snake that, the serpent that he is, slithering, then do this, do that, And this is all because of a reason, man. Because the Heavenly Father ordained it to be that way. Okay? Romans chapter 13 and 1. It reads, let every soul be subject unto the higher powers, for there is no power but of the Heavenly Father. The powers that be are ordained of the Heavenly Father. So there's no politician that is not ordained by the Heavenly Father. So they can make it all, the so-called Illuminati, the so-called elect of us, man, Salafia. The so-called, what these people called, man? Elite of this world, these banksters, the Rothschilds and all the people. They can do whatever they want. They control the world. According to Job 9 and 24. The world is given into the hands of the wicked. Alright? But they are being under control of the Heavenly Father too, man. Even Satan is under control of the Heavenly Father. Alright? Since we're in Job, let's go there too, man. Job chapter 1 verse 1. I'm not going to read on from 1. Yeah. Job chapter 1 verse 6. Now there was a day when the sons of the Heavenly Father came to present themselves before the Lord power. And Satan came also among them. And the Heavenly Father said unto Satan, whence comest thou? Then Satan answered the Heavenly Father and said, from going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it. And the Heavenly Father said unto Satan, hast thou considered my servant Jacob, that there is none like him in the earth, a perfect and an upright man, one that feared the Heavenly Father and eschewed evil? Then Satan answered the Heavenly Father and said, do Job fear the Heavenly Father for naught? Hast not thou made a hedge about him, and about his house, and about all that he had on every side? Thou hast blessed the work of his hands, and his substance is increased in the land. But put forth thine hand now, and touch all that he had, and he will curse thee to thy face. And the Heavenly Father said unto Satan, behold, all that he had is in thy power, only upon himself put not forth thine hand. So Satan went forth from the presence of the Heavenly Father. Right? And then if you read on, you're going to read on that Satan is going to put all hell on Job. He's going to lose his wife, he's going to lose his land, his stock. His sons are going to turn against him. Stuff like that. Alright? But it's controlled by the Heavenly Father. Satan cannot do anything without permission of the Heavenly Father, man. Alright? So that's why these things is happening. And yeah. Suriname is messed up, man. It's a messed up situation. You got all these people stealing, plundering. Next time when they're going voting, you know, I don't know if it's gonna happen. If it's gonna happen, probably this guy, his people will be the next, you know, thieves. But again, we don't know how it's gonna be, and I don't want to talk about how it's gonna be. For now, it's a fucking mess. You know, and I don't want to even go there for holiday, you know, seasons or reasons. I'd rather go to Spain or Greece or what have you, something here in the Mediterranean Sea. I'd rather go to the United States, hang out with the brothers. But anyway, man, you know, with that, I'm going to end it. I'm going to give up to the Most High, Yahweh, Bashim, Yahushai, Bashir, Hakadash. So on to the next. Shalom.